Hi everyone, my name is Rikesh Patel. I'm here at Hair Medics UK in London. I'm back here after just over 4 months of having my hair transplant surgery. I came across Hair Medics through social media. I think a lot of people do a lot of searching for hair transplant clinics, and you find places in Turkey and you start to find adverts coming on your way on Instagram. But what really stood out with Hair Medics is I looked through the page, I saw a live interview at the time, and it was sort of similar hair loss to what I was already going through. And I felt there was some sort of connection there already, and I was like, let me go to Hair Medics and put my faith in them to do my hair transplant. So on the day of the procedure, I actually had 2,200 grafts with my hair transplant. Not only did I get my hairline done, I also had my crown done as well. On the day of my hair transplant, when I arrived, was welcomed warmly, was given refreshments before my transplant. On the day, I feel like when you're getting the grafts taken out, there is a slight bit of pain, especially if you tend to bleed a lot, and that happened to me. So when they were injecting the anesthetic into my head to start taking the grafts out, that's probably the most painful part. But then once they've taken all of the grafts out, you really don't feel a thing after when they're putting the hairs in. My transplant lasted 9.5 hours, and I think on the day, Dr. Shaw explained to me that with the crown, that's a bit more technical because you really have to follow certain patterns of your crown. But I'm so thankful that they took their time and didn't rush the transplant, and you reap the benefits after. But all in all, it was a great day. The only painful part of that process was when they were extracting the grafts and injecting the anesthetic, but really after that, you don't feel a thing. So recovery, for me, I slept upright for 10 days, and I was just so paranoid of really not knocking my head anywhere, making sure that the grafts stayed in place. And so I slept upright for 10 days, but then really after that, the pain wears off within 48 to 72 hours, so you don't really feel a thing. And then after that, it's just constantly spraying your head with the saline spray just to make sure that everything stays clean. The one thing I would say for those, if you are considering getting a hair transplant, is shock loss. You tend to normally get shock loss after, I believe it's a month, when all the extracted hairs fall out. But trust me, it does grow back, so it's just a minor phase. And something that I experienced, not many people do, is shock loss in the donor area. And that's another thing that really scared me. But the team at Hair Medics, they were always on WhatsApp to really support me and guide me through everything. And just reassuring me that the hair does grow back in the area where you are experiencing shock loss, in the donor area too. After your transplant, I think for me, hairline recession and balding was something that was going to continue. And so after my transplant, I knew that I had to maintain the hairs that were put in as part of the hair transplant. And so on that, I now get PRP treatment done. I also use topical finasteride and minoxidil to really help with the growth and regrowth of the hairs and making my hair look a lot thicker. And I feel like the PRP sessions, as well as the topical finasteride and minoxidil, has really helped speed up the growth process post hair transplant. And I feel like just 4 weeks and 4 months and 2 weeks post hair transplant, my hair is looking really good. And so I can't wait to see what the end product looks like after a year. I would highly recommend getting a hair transplant with Hair Medics. I think the price is very competitive. In comparison to, there's so many options in Turkey that will offer you a cheap hair transplant, but I think my trust with Hair Medics has been really strong, very competitive on the price. Not just that, I feel like the team are there ready to be supportive before you even get a transplant. when you're getting a hair transplant consultation. They really do give you advice. They don't force you into getting a hair transplant straight away. They present so many different options to you before they even say get a hair transplant. So I really like that. It's building a relationship, building that trust with the customers. So if you are considering getting a hair transplant, I would highly recommend Hair Medics UK. I'm glad I did.